The time is September 1958, and Lane and Venable schools are to be desegregated. Instead, being desegregated, these two schools are closed, and African American children slated to go to the schools are educated in 2 rooms at the Charlottesville School Board office behind Venable School. Olivia Louise Ferguson spent the year sequestered in a back room at the school board office along with a 9th grader. She didn't do all of the things that are important to seniors. Instead, she was isolated, and I am sure at times wondering about learning the things she needed to learn to move on to college. Olivia has been identified by some of her former classmates and friends as the sacrificial lamb, the lost child, who, because her father was the president of the NAACP, was set on a course that would change her life and the lives of generations to come. This video is a tribute to Olivia and a reminder to us of her place in history.
She was put out there as almost sacrificial lamb initially to integrate schools.
They were almost forgotten, to be honest with you. What happened, they weren't with us in the black situation, and they weren't in the white situation. They were off in I would say almost like being in jail, to be honest with you.
Anyone who was going to be involved in integrating schools certainly had put themselves in, a rather dangerous situation.
It was a situation over which she had no control because the judge had ordered that he didn't think it was wise for her to go to Lane because of what she would encounter.
I would define that time as a very lonely time. And given that my father was president of the NAACP, I don't know that I had a choice of not being one of the plaintiffs.
We went to, when the integration started, of course, the first year, that was the 58, 59 year, they shut down schools. I don't know whether you're aware of that. They shut down the affected white schools. So Lane High School and Venable, which were the 2 that were to be integrated, were both shut down. Therefore, the young kids who would have gone to Venable Elementary School had to go to, I think they went to some place in Venable and to be taught. Olivia and I were the 2 that would have gone to Lane.
We'd walk down this long walk to this tiny building, which was the school board office. And in the one space, the elementary children had a class, and there was an Amish woman who taught them. And in a very small room in the back is where Johnny and I had class.
The unfortunate thing was this was Olivia's senior year in high school, which is where you get enough information to go to college. Your junior and senior year is what you use in college. So she got hurt the most, I think, because she missed the senior year stuff.
2 wonderful ladies, Pauline Garrett and Lily Mae Brown, who Mrs. Garrett had me for English and Mrs. Brown had me for math. And they did this after being with folks that barely all day long. They would do it in the evening.
And at that time, math was always real easy to me. This man didn't know any math. So he found every reason he could to not come to school. Some points he was getting his teeth fixed, so he had to get these caps or something on his teeth. And he just never came, so Olivia, this is how sweet she was. She sat there and tried to help me. She was teaching me.
And we just have a class there. I know Johnny doesn't have fond feelings for our instructor. I know that because we were on a panel together in September when schools opened in Charlottesville. And he said to me, he really was not the greatest teacher for you, Olivia. So no, he was not. But, but yeah, I do remember it. very clearly.
So all of us had this kind of understanding that when you put yourself in the position to do something like that, it was, rather dangerous. We found out that that would turn out to be true in Olivia's case with cross burnings and, and those kinds of things.
My really very pleasant memory, and I didn't realize it at the time, was having Thurgood Marshall sit in my living room in 702 Ridge Street and just chat and eat and whatever, and of course I cherish that memory. But the bad would be the cross burning, also a brick being thrown through the window. And I think, well, I know now, that there were lots of things that were shielded from me.
What I remember of Olivia was that she's very elegant, highly intelligent, very sociable, and focused. She was really focused.
And so I remember her as being a very focused student, little person, because she was always petite. Had with a serious moments, but with a ready smile, like appreciating a good joke.
Well, I remember actually a little bit about going back to Miss Lyers' kindergarten, because in fact, I had an interview a couple of days ago, and I said, as I recalled, Olivia was my first girlfriend. She probably didn't feel the same way, but
I love Olivia because she never made any distinction. She was a very unique person. And I was just glad that she took me as a friend. I'm not as close as some, but she never made a distinction between her real friends and the other classmates that she came in contact. So when she had to leave Berlin, my heart was broken because one of my good little friends that always talked and recognized me was there for me. And when other people would just walk by you.
As I remember her and growing up, she was always well balanced. So I can imagine her sitting in that classroom at Venable and not being the least bit concerned that everybody else was fluttering around and being angry. And she was laughing at us the whole time.
And plus, she was good on the eyes. It was good. She was good for the eyes. She was somebody that you didn't mind being seen with, and that was a plus as far as I was concerned.
We just had a sense of pride that you wouldn't believe that, our little Libby was going to, take on that kind of challenge, and quite a challenge it was.
Mm-hmm.
To see somebody at 16 who was engaged in a battle that would make a significant difference for a number of people was an admirable thing, and just increased my desire in some ways, I think, to be like her, but to be more amazed about who she was. And
I think that act really set the tone for things changing in the city, and there were a lot of stupid things that were there. We knew they were stupid, about where you sitting in the balcony. It turns out those are the best seats, but
I think Olivia and maybe a few others were always examples to us of how you can, approach, Jim Crow segregation, approach it in such a way that gives you pride, something that you can carry with you. And Olivia had was very symbolic of that, very symbolic of that.
Things, but I really admire her for what success she has made. And I'm just glad when we say Burley and reflect back on Olivia, you can be proud. And I'm proud. I'm out of the class of 59 also. So I'm just glad that Olivia passed through my life.
And for most of us who came along afterward, it was a pretty good situation because you laid the foundation for us. So Olivia, thank you and congratulations on receiving your high school diploma.
I consider everybody equal at this school. So everybody's the same. So everybody's friends with everybody.
I've met so many people that have different points of view on things, and I used to think when I was in elementary school, since I was with certain people, I think this is like this is what everyone thinks, this is what everyone is doing. But now that I've come to middle school and as an 8th grader, I've realized that everyone has their own opinion, but we're not letting that come between us. And we're, just because someone is for example, a Republican and another person is a Democrat, we're not gonna put that in between us just so we can't be friends.
Those schools now in America technically are integrated, that there's still a lot of remaining barriers sort of between people, where certain races are where if someone isn't from your race, then they're stereotyped in certain ways that are unfair and don't have any real evidence to back them up, because they're just stereotypes. And I think that needs to be overcome still.
I would like to thank her because of the work she did at such a young age, and she had determination and she kept going even when she failed. That is a big job on a 16-year-old, and we wouldn't be sitting next to each other if it wasn't for her.
My husband is going to give his birth date mate, which is our number 1 granddaughter, wall hangings. And the wall hangings say, she thought she could, so she did. And the other one says, speak the truth even if your voice shakes. So that's what I'd say to them.
Mm.